Good blessed Wednesday evening, March the 19th, 2025. The time being 4:19 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. All around the world. All around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I say, do, or produce. That's your prerogative. You have a First Amendment to the United States Constitution, a freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom to protest, freedom to gather, and freedom to associate. If you're a felon, you want to check with your local law enforcement officials to see if it's okay for felons to associate together. If you're on probation or parole, you want to do the same thing to see if you can do any of the above mentioned, whether you're on probation or parole or a felon, to see if you can do any of the above mentioned that I just mentioned. Today I'm here in Carbondale, Illinois, live at 400, I'm going to give you the exact address shortly, 400 North Oakland Street on the corner of Oakland and Sycamore Street here in Carbondale, Illinois. What used to be 4 years ago was the Gaslights apartment. On this day, 4 years ago, about 1,461 days ago, my son, Bryan Lamont Johns, was found hung in this building, apartment building on the third floor in the hallway that I'm standing in the back of. I don't believe he hung himself. None of my children's, his mother, or any of my friends, or even people that was really his friends here in Carbondale, Illinois, don't believe it. Those of you all know this guy, and he think he put fear in me, but he don't. He's a big old black, muscle-bound individual that used to be, and they said he still is, a dope dealer here in Carbondale, Illinois. I don't give a damn who he akin to. You don't scare me. I believe he has something to do with my son's death. His name is Michael Valet. He spent about 17 years in the penitentiary for murder and drug dealing. He was in the penitentiary with my son. My son got out doing good for a while, but my son got to messing with drugs. Michael Valet got out, claimed that he was trying to help people like my son, but he wasn't trying to help my son. My son been dead for 4 years. He ain't been out on the streets 9 times. All the times that I tried to meet with him, I couldn't. I finally met with him when I came up to some of the programs that he helped, that he get money from, these grassroots programs like Lester Gillespie and Rodney Jones get in Charleston, Missouri. But anyway, I finally caught up with him. Him and another guy that's a felon, they are a part of what you call Carbondale United, ran by Nancy Maxwell. She's now a city council lady here in Carbondale, Illinois. But they trying to get money. They saying Michael Valet and this other individual black guy that's a felon, they said that they violent interrupters. But they ain't stopped no damn violence in Carbondale, Illinois. Just recently, Adam Lotz, I appreciate you. When y'all got that $500 or $500,000 grant for the gun violence, and Nancy Maxwell tried to get Carbondale United, her organization, to get some of that money, you didn't let them get it. Thumbs up to you. And he ain't black. Everybody white ain't bad. Everybody black ain't good. Vice versa. But anyway, Michael Valet called himself a violent interrupter. 9 times. He don't like me because I talk about it. He said he was my son's friend, but Michael Valet married to a white female. She got about 4 or 5 kids, maybe 6 kids. Ain't none of them his. She worked as a teacher at what they call Carbondale Rebound High School. She's a parent educator. Ain't that a parent educator that's spending my son's food stamps while he dead? Michael Valet and his wife, Katie Babcock Valet. And the police, or the last prosecuting attorney that just got voted out, they didn't even press charges on these people. They didn't even get Michael Valet's phone to look and see, to ping it, to see where he was at when my son died. He said he was in St. Louis getting some type of operation. But what was he the night before? They didn't care. See, he helped voted in the last prosecuting attorney, but they got him out of there. Joseph Cervantes. They got his ass out of there. Going back to Chicago and gangbang like you used to do. But I come here today, y'all. I don't care who don't like it. I come here most times by myself. I don't put my daughters through it no more. I ain't scared to die. I don't give a damn who Michael Valet is kin to. Said a lot of his family here. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to keep on pushing. You and your wife should be locked up. You call yourself a Muslim. Who you submit? A Muslim is one who submit himself to Allah. To God. How you gonna submit yourself to God when you working for the grassroots programs and going to the homeless shelter where my son was at and all these other people that you said that you his friend, but you getting they food stamps, giving them little or nothing. My son was found in this building behind me, hung on March the 19th, 2021. And you and your wife, Michael Valet, your white wife, y'all a school teacher now, y'all got caught spending my son food stamps 39 days after his death, and they didn't see no crime here. They questioned Michael Valet because I kept pushing the issue. They had him come down to the police station. They did a written report that they typed up. Then they did a interview, a video interview, which I got. But guess what type of interview they did with his wife? She had white privilege. They went down the street from here to the Carbondale, Illinois Rebound High School and talked to his wife, asked her, do you think your husband, Michael, killed my son, Bryan, for meth and amphetamine? She said she didn't know Bryan, but they've been spending his food stamps. And the husband, he thought me and him was cool, but I got information out of him. He said I asked him how much money was he giving my son for the food stamps. And he said, I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Raymond. It was so many other people that I was getting their food stamps, I don't remember. That's a crime anywhere. But the prosecuting attorney, he didn't see nothing wrong with that. A man is dead, and here it is 2 individuals, one that claimed he working with the grassroots programs, and another one is working for the school, a parent educator. What you educating the parents on? How to steal and spend food stamps or money from a dead person? I came down here in memory of my son. I used to get real emotional, but you know, I'm able to overcome it. But I don't want to send my daughters and them through it. One of his sisters called me today. She was in Chicago, in the suburb of Chicago, where we got my son buried at. Tonight, me and my 2 youngest daughters may do a balloon release. But I want y'all to pray that we get justice. Pray that this new prosecuting attorney, she's a female. She beat out this individual, Joseph Cervantes, Joseph Cervantes was a game banger in Chicago. You see what I'm saying? And came down here with the corruption. But you see, one thing about me, I don't fear death. I don't fear death. I worked on the ambulance in the 80s. I seen death. I lived in Cabrini Green for almost 20 years. I seen death. I was in Stateville, Pontiac, and Menard correctional centers in the state of Illinois, in Joliet, all 4 maximum securities. I seen death. Not proud of it, but I seen death. But one thing I don't fear man. I only fear God. Michael Valet, I believe you had something to do with it. White and black people in this town say you had to do something to do with it. They said you still a dope dealer. I don't see nothing you doing down here or stopping no violence. You just like Lester Gillespie in Charleston, Missouri, hiring rapists and drug dealers to drive his vans around for his organization called Fresh Start Self-Improvement Center to pick up our little children to take this program to make money. He don't care about a rapist and a drug dealer. But we do, y'all. Those of y'all that don't like what I'm saying, don't come putting your hand on me no more. Threaten me on Facebook, threaten me on the YouTube, but when you come on my property or you come here in Carbondale where I'm at now, Malcolm said when the mind is a weapon, you never unarmed. You see what I'm saying? My mind is a weapon. I ain't never unarmed. Don't let this old man fool you. It's many that tried me. You see what I'm saying? And their family know where to go look for them. It ain't hard to find them. But let me show y'all a little something here. This is something one of my neighbors, Derek Davis, airbrush. He made this here some years ago for my son. For me and my 2 young daughters, well, all of Bryan, all my sons, his mother and brothers and sisters and real friends. He got real friends here, black and white, but Michael Valet ain't one. If you was his friend, you and your wife spending his food stamp, then you gonna tell me and the police that you didn't even know he was dead. Though if he died March the 19th, 2021, and 39 days later, 2 months later, you ain't been seeing him. So how was you paying him for spending his food stamp? You thought nobody wasn't gonna find out. But see, the police wasn't even thinking about it when I asked him, where's all his ID? But this here say, justice for Bryan Lamont Johns. Rest in peace. September the 27th, 1975 to March the 19th, 2021. A nice female friend of mine that lives here, that was born and raised in Peru. Real beautiful female. She seen me one day out here, I think a year or 2 ago, and she seen this and asked can she take a picture of it, and she made one just like this here, and it was right here in this spot, in the building where he got found hung at, and it was up for about a year or so, but now it's gone, but we appreciate what she done. This is the address that my son was found on the 3rd floor. It may be locked, let's see. No, it ain't locked. Let me take y'all upstairs. Let me put my mask on. Let me put my mask on before I go upstairs, y'all. Now the police said it just be locked all the time. So how, you know. But anyway, let me take y'all up here. He was found with no shirts on, all the way up on the 3rd floor here. He was found hung by this thing, on this thing here. And let me show y'all something. Now, if you hung yourself with a belt, look at my arm, y'all. Y'all see my arm? You see my arm?
His arm was all the way inside of here, between some of these bars. You see that? All the way in there, balled up, and the other one was holding on down here. Something like this here. He hanging here, from here, with a belt. How's your arm gonna be in there like this, balled up with $2 in it? How's you gonna hang yourself? Then one of the detectives told me, oh, when he hung himself, he thought about it and he tried to pull himself back up. But see, once you stop breathing and your heart ain't pumping no more, your hand ain't gonna stay up in that thing. See, it wasn't stuck up in here. It was just like this here. Just like this here, balled up, money in it. You see what I'm saying? Somebody killed my son. I know he did, they did. He didn't have no shirts on. He was hanging down here, y'all. Look here. Now, around the corner, on the 3rd floor, in another building, in the same one that's connected to this. Let me go around the corner and show y'all what this one white girl now. This is the Oakland side of the street. Let me go down here, y'all. Y'all forgive me because I come by myself. I don't like taking my daughters and them through this secret. See, I'm gonna go to the grave. I'm gonna go to the grave getting justice for my son. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what it is? Any of y'all know? Any of y'all know my son, Bryan Lamar Johns? They called him Lil D. You know, he had his downfalls. You know what I mean? But he was a good guy. It's right across the street from the Armory, y'all. But this is on the corner of West Sycamore and North Oakland. Now, this building here, this is 400 North. This is 400 West. Now, white girl seen me out here the same year that my son got hung, seen me and my daughters and them out here on the sidewalk. And she was up there in the 3rd floor when I was talking about my son's death. She was up there, 3rd floor. You see where that looked like some boarded up on there? She was up there, and then she hollered out the window. I remember what happened. But guess what? She was the one found all. Let me see if this is open, y'all. She the one found this. You know, he didn't have no t-shirts on. Let's see. Now, let me show you something what she said. Now down here, a fire extinguisher was missing. This was broken. Glass was down here. Right here, going up to the 2nd floor, she claimed she seen his mask. She took pictures of all this stuff. She was staying in this apartment here. 41. She claimed she found his t-shirts here. This is before the police even found his body. She took them and they was on top of each other. She moved them over. Then she took pictures of them. She changed the story and told the police she took them in the house. She first said that she found them about 8 something in the morning. Now, how is you gonna find his t-shirts there? How do you know if it was his mask? Then the fire extinguisher was missing, but where I just took y'all on the 3rd floor, the fire extinguisher was up there on the 3rd floor, on the floor, sitting straight up. But my son had a gash in his left hand. It go all the way down to the tendons. If he had a gash in his hand going all the way down to the tendons, blood should have been all over the place, but it wasn't. Now this is the Sycamore side. But I'm gonna wait. Oh yeah, right here. she found the axe that they said he had. Now she found all of this, and she told the police. It was 8 o'clock at first. I got the police reports. Then when I showed my video, then she changed it and said it was 11 o'clock. She said, oh, I remember I had ordered some food from Walmart. They wouldn't look at her phone to check and see what time she took them pictures, because if she took them at 8 or 11 o'clock, the police, the people didn't discover my son's body until about 12 o'clock noon. So how did she get all of this stuff for my sons before the body was, see, she was getting high. She mysteriously moved up out of here. She was getting high, and my son was getting high. And she admitted to me she had a black boyfriend, a white female with a black boyfriend. She had a black baby, but she said he was real jealous, and she had to put him out. What that tell y'all? I ain't done, y'all. I'm hoping this new prosecuting attorney do the same thing that we doing. Justice for Bryan. When I get back home, I'm gonna show y'all the pictures that this white girl took and gave to me off of her phone. When I told y'all she seen me videoing out here, she gave me off of her phone, and I showed the police. How could she get these pictures? And she gave the pictures to the police. Something ain't right with that, is it? But they let her get away. They didn't take her downtown. They didn't look at her phone. They looked at her phone, they would have discovered something. Let me get on up out of here, y'all. Get on back to Charleston. Now these is the pictures that the white girl gave me, that she took before the police even seen, or they even called in my son's death. Now, the police didn't look at her phone to see what, all they had to do was look at the phone to see what time these pictures was taken. She gave them to the police after 1 o'clock p.m. My son's body was found by some Indian guys about 12 noon. Some of the white girl's neighbors saying she was talking about what was going on around the corner, and ain't none of them knowing what was going on. All they seen was police and ambulance. But how could she take these pictures before the police, before the body even supposedly been discovered? This is how she claims she found, because my son didn't have no shirts on. This is the other. This is the second side that I showed y'all. The first side, where on the Oakland side, is where his body was found, but he didn't have no shirts on. Now, these is the two shirts. I'm sure he had a t-shirt on under there, but we couldn't find it. She said she moved the two shirts like this. Now, she took the first picture. Remember, she said 8 o'clock at first in the police report. Then when I made a YouTube video, when I went to investigate like I did today to reenact, she changed it to 11 o'clock. She said she was going downstairs in the midst of winter with no shoes on to go get her food from a Walmart was delivering her food. But guess what time her food supposed to have been coming? At 12 o'clock. Who gonna go in the midst of the winter time down from the third floor to the first floor with no shoes on, the midst of winter, and wait an hour for the food? But anyway, she moved the shirts, and then she told the police she eventually took him in her house. She didn't tell me that. They found him in her house. They didn't go in her house but 3 years later to go check to see if any blood or anything. Now, here it is. You see what she got on there? Someone's face mask. Now, she looking downstairs. You see her toes? Can y'all see her toes? Down at the bottom. She looking downstairs on the second floor. She done took this picture. Now, let's go to the next one. Now, down here, remember what I showed y'all, the missing fire, where it was the fire extinguisher? That was busted out. Glass down there on the ground. You see what she got on that? Then the fire extinguisher from there was on the third floor where my son's body was hanging, but it was sitting straight up like it'll sit up inside of the fire extinguisher box. This is an axe that my son allegedly had
a little bit after midnight on the 19th, like early in the morning. Some female, he was ringing her bell. I got it in my one of my videos. But there, if you look at this real close, this axe, if you look at all the way at the tip where the metal was at, the axe, you could see it's brand new. You could see the brownness is brand new. That's how it was when my son's hand on the female's doorbell ring camera. But now, when this female found it, you see what it's mysterious? It's duct taped all the way from the bottom almost up to the top. How did she find all this here? I'm going to go backwards again and let y'all see this here. And you see this here? It's fire extinguisher. You see my son's face mask? You see? Then she take it in the house. But anyway, I reenacted. It's been 4 years today, March the 19th, 2025, make 4 years, also make 1,461 days. We will get justice for my son. All right, I'm going to end this here, Justice for Bryan. This is another one of the shirts that we had made. My oldest daughter in Chicago, Jennifer, had these made for all of us. We had different ones made for justice for my son, Bryan. Like I said, my neighbor, Derek Davis, which is Airbrush, he made this here for us. We're going to continue to fight for justice for Bryan. Like I said, today is make 4 years, 1,461 days. And I just want to say this here. If this guy, Michael Valet, was truly my son's friend, and he knew my son was on drugs, and he was studying getting his food stamps, whether he was paying him or not, when he knew my son had died or was found dead, him or his wife, which had been spending my son's food stamps, him and his wife didn't offer no money. You remember they were spending them 39 days after he died. Didn't offer no money. We had to get my son's body back from Carbondale, Illinois to Chicago. They didn't offer no help with that. Didn't offer no help with the funeral. He was so much of a friend. He never marched with me in Carbondale, not damn time. It's been 4 years. You see what I'm saying? Never once did he come to try to comfort the mother or any of my son's sisters or brothers. Not even my son's daughter or his 2 grandkids. He didn't even come to my son's funeral, him and his wife. But they spent them food stamps. But you could tell that they were spending other people's food stamps because the wife is big, Michael Valet is big, and all the kids is big. Peace be still. Justice for Bryan.